Hey there, everybody. This is your this is one more video for the podcast, and I just finished playing Breath of Fire 4. Whoa, well, did I ever play Breath of Fire 4? Oh, my eyes are hurting. Okay, I'm gonna suggest never do this. Okay. Never ever do this. Okay, late at night. I just finished watching Raw, and every once in a while when I watch Raw, I have a couple wrestling. Well, like I have WrestleMania 2000, a couple of the wrestling games, and so I started playing that for a couple hours at night. I did an entire like WrestleMania year. Because I have a huge thing for that. I still have like all my characters from way back in the day. It's an interesting story about WrestleMania. I'll get to that later. I kind of want to talk about that a little bit later on. That's one of those videos I'm holding in reserve. And then I'm like, well, I think I'm gonna play some BioShock Infinite because I still haven't finished that game yet. And I just got it, so I'm gonna start playing it. So I started playing that. For quite a while. And then I finally got to what I'm going to talk about very shortly, Breath of Fire 4. I finished it off. And yeah, don't play games until like um what is it? Until 3 o'clock in the day. From like 11 o'clock at night. It's not good on your eyes. Oh, my eyes hurt. Do they ever hurt? This is not fun. I shouldn't be laughing because it's not funny, but oh, wow, that was dumb. I'm getting on. I'm definitely getting on in years. So I figure I'll start Breath of Fire 4 in a sec, but I'm gonna have a little drink break here. One sec. Mmm. Oh yeah. There we go. Rolo ice cream, Oreos cookies and cream, and Dr. Pepper. There you go. There's some good. Trying to get a sugar high here, so I'm flying off the thing. So what can I say about Breath of Fire 4? First off, definitely gotta say this. Probably the best RPG uh, for for the PlayStation, at least in my opinion, personally. Well, at least one of the best. There are a couple of like Legacy of Dragoon was fun, but I enjoyed Breath of Fire so much more. Main reason is like all if you know anything about the Breath of Fire games, you have a main character and your main character can turn into a dragon, and I love that. That is the reason I've played. There's a couple Xbox games and there's a couple PS2 games. I bought those just for that one feature to be a kick-ass dragon. The reason I love Skyrim is because you do the foosball raw and all those other type of things. But Breath of Fire did it first, and Breath of Fire did it right. So I'm going to talk about probably one of the best Breath of Fires and one of the best RPGs out there. There are others out there for the PlayStation, but honestly, I still think Capcom did. That's probably one of their best PlayStation RPGs. I know. Well, I'll get to Capcom a little bit later. But first of all, what can I say about this game? First of all, the gameplay is beautiful. Honestly, probably the best gameplay ever. And Final Fantasy, Square Enix, you guys are idiots that you couldn't figure out how to do the system properly. Honestly, they did it great. First of all, every character has a special little trait that they're capable of. The main character, if anybody knows anything about Breath of Fire, the main character, Ryu, can turn into a dragon. Uh, the cat character in this series, the Warren clan character, Cray, who's a cat character, he has the ability of like gaining HP, and he does like a little HP trick in the back. So they all have like these little special traits, and they have the front row and they have the reserve row. Basically, here's how the game you can switch characters in the battle, front row to reserve at any time during combat. At any time during a sequence or phase, I can basically say, okay, I want Nina to cast her one of her spells, and I want this person to follow up with this spell who's in back row, and I want this person to follow up with another spell. The other thing that makes it kind of cool is that all these characters have different, like, you can actually create combos. What I mean by combos is there are attacks and skills and stuff that have multiple attacks or spells that actually, if you cast, like for instance, if I cast Typhoon and this person casts and the next person casts Blizzard, it would create a spell called Thunderstorm. So basically, you kind of combo spells into like super attacks, doing more damage, doing more effects, and get it just kind of like makes the spells a little bit more kick-ass. You can even do it with healing spells, which, by the way, I've never seen that where stat benefit spells can actually be more awesome. Like Vitality Shield. First of all, Shield basically gives everyone on the main party 20 points. Vitality gives everyone healing. Everyone. Now, if you cast both spells one after the other, like I think Shield then Vitality, or Vitality then Shield, I think you can do it either or way. Everyone, the main group gets 20, but everyone in the back row gets 4. That's actually useful. There are times when you want to have the defense. Like, it's one of the few games I can honestly say I actually use the stat boosters. Because usually, most of the times, especially in certain other games, I'm not going to mention them. I think I ripped on them enough. I kind of ripped on the recent Square Enix game, but one of the recent Square Enix games, but I won't get into it. I'm thinking about it. It's like I really do want to rip on it, but I like gotta stop. Okay, uh, that's the first thing they did really well. You actually could switch combos, go back and forth. The second thing the game has, which is kind of really unique, each character kind of has their own out of field capabilities. Like for instance, Nina has a basically she can like make a bigger. She can basically fly up and you can see more of the map. She gets an eagle eye. Ryu cuts things with his sword. One of the other characters can bash stuff with her head. The other character can move stuff around, and you have to use them in a very unique puzzle way. Old school like Wild Arms style, and the other style was uh, what is it called? Lufia. That's what it was. Was it Lunar? No, Lufia. I think there was Lufia on that system. I can't remember if there was or not. I'm gonna have to look that up. Anyway, there's a Lufia, and basically you use these puzzles to basically navigate through the game. By the way, the puzzles in the game are actually really good. Most of the puzzles are very unique. Most of the puzzles are actually kind of hard to follow, and you know, it's actually it's very kind of like the puzzles are really good. Now, some games they can do it really bad. I think Rise of the Sentinels, Satyrians on the Super Nintendo, the Lufia 2, man, the puzzles in there drove me nuts. Same with the Tales game on that system. I really hated the puzzles. I'm playing. I finally got a copy of the first Tales of Destiny game, so I'm gonna play it on. I'm playing it right now, so I want to see how the puzzles are in that. But now that I finish Breath of Fire, I'll probably work on that and finish Ogre Battle 2. And all the other games. So the game system and the combat system is really unique. There's a lot of mini games in here too, which is kind of cool, and I kind of like it, but I don't want to really, go into that too hardcore because, it's kind of one of those things where some of the mini games, like all Capcom has mini games. I don't know if you've noticed this. Almost every Capcom game has a mini game. They've kind of turned into like the mini game masters. Middle, okay, I'm stealing something. Middle game masturbators. Yes, some other mini games drive me nuts. Okay, Onimusha 2. Oh, the Desert of Death and Breath of Fire 3. I don't think I've beaten it once, and I had someone actually get me through the desert, and I actually think I had a glitch copy. I heard rumors that there's actually glitch copies of that game where you couldn't find your way out of the desert once you went in. oh, oh, screw that game for that. Screw that game for that one. Okay, Breath of Fire 3 is amazing up to that point. Breath of Fire 4, they fixed that. And there's what can I mention for the couple other things? There's a couple mini games that kind of suck, and a couple like there's the ferry mini game I don't like, and there's one other game I really didn't like, and one other like little mini map type thing, which is you set sail on a ship. I hated that, and this can say something. If I can still play a video game and I hate something and I want to rip my hair out, and the game is still good, that I still finish it because there are games out there. I hit something really stupid in the game. I'll never play it again. Honestly, that happens. That does happen. And it's not that I won't like. I just there are certain points where it's just like I can't believe that a Sonic 2, I think, has one of those things where I was at it forever and it slowed for a fast-paced game. That one part slowed me down. I think it was in the carnival stage, slowed me down so effing much. I hated it. God, did I hate it. Anyway, I'm kind of see, that's what happens when you're tired. You kind of just start rambling and go into another section. Anyway, we're talking about Fire 4. Okay, the gameplay is awesome. The atmosphere, like kind of like the atmosphere, is really well done. Honestly, it's one of the few times I can honestly say it feels like an alien world. Now, granted, this is back in the old school day where you didn't a nation could be a nation when you only have 35 people in it. But the environments were really unique, actually kind of cool. There's some really cool environments. Like I like the whole snake environment. One of the swamps was kind of neat. There's uh there's some really cool and unique things that they put in the game, and it does have a very alien feel. It does feel like like the wind, like the like all these other races of people, like you like in your party alone you have a dragon, a freaking you have a dragon in human form. You have an angel-like girl, Windra, I think they're Fae or Windra. I can't remember. Why do I keep on thinking Fae? The Windra race, which is like these bird-like people that actually in the original games could turn into birds. They don't do that this time. This cat race called the Warren tribe, which is like these cat-like people, are really animalistic, very powerful type of things. They kind of remind me very similar of Aisha from Outlaw Star, actually. Actually, totally remind me of that in Breath of Fire 3, because you actually could turn into a werewolf. They don't allow you that one this form. That kind of sucks, but the game itself is kind of cool. This dog race, and then this I don't know what the fuck it is. Okay, if anyone can figure out what the hell Ursa is, please tell me. There's this girl that you get. She's a soldier, and she has a tail, has ears like an elf from like the very anime, because the way anime does ears, they do ears a lot more extended, you know, like way out there, and then has a tail like a fox. It is the weirdest look. Like I thought at first maybe she was like supposed to be like one of those nine tail things, but there's no other fur, no other tails, no more other ears, nothing like that. It's just like these big ears, and that's it. It is the weirdest, damnedest thing. I have no idea what the hell that is. What is that? All I know is she kind of looks a little bit like Chung Li. And I'll leave it at that. Yeah, she's a weird character. Anyway, you have this like really unique world, and you do travel from one end of the world to the other with two different separate storylines, which is really cool and really awesome. Like that's another thing I really did like. I really did like the two. There's basically you start off with the main group, and then you have this other character that's kind of wandering around, who's like this super powerful character. By the way, it's kind of cool. Like another nod to a guy who does something on YouTube, Sequelitis. He mentioned Mega Man, how like you get to actually play this low level nobody, but you actually get to see what the more powerful version of that is with this other character, the Emperor known as Fo Mao, who you actually play through a very tragic and sad storyline, by the way. Well, the game itself has a really sad, like actually it's a kind of a little bit of a depressing game, but really well done and really good storyline. But that's like you have these two diverse storylines. Both characters have different objectives. Both characters are trying to do something. Both characters are basically going their own way. And then they kind of combine. And at the end of the game, it has one of the most unique things. By the way, I'm not going to spoil it for anybody because it's really, really cool. Honestly, it has two. Breath of Fire does this occasionally, where they have two, like, you have, like, sometimes an ending and a mock ending, but this is the one Breath of Fire where you actually get two really unique endings. And I'm gonna say this right now, both endings are pretty cool. I've played through both endings. Both endings are pretty kick-ass. Just saying, if you ever get a chance, play both endings. And that's kind of where the game kind of like it's like an intersecting game, and it's really good. It has different chapters, and it is the storyline is just beautiful. It is a really good storyline. I really love the storyline to the game. It's one of the better storylines out there, and honestly, that's the one thing I always found about other video games out there is, you don't get everything in a video game usually. You don't get a good like the graphics will be crap, but the graphics will be crap, but the gameplay is awesome. There's a lot of games where I've actually run into that, or the music sucks, but the graphics are beautiful, or the gameplay sucks, and the graphics and music are beautiful. So you rarely get this where you get all three really solid game. Like, yeah, the gameplay's a little bit off. Like, I find the gameplay can be a little bit off-putting, but not totally to the point of like, oh my god. Like the combat system's beautiful. Like I think that's just a freaking that's a masterpiece there. I think they did it better. It's kind of like saying how Diablo kind of how Diablo 3 didn't do a really, the gameplay on that for the Xbox was kind of but where you play it on other things, it's actually kind of unique. Well, it's a really unique gameplay. I actually like the combat system. The combat system is beautiful. I love the whole transitionizing, the whole changing of spells and creating different combo spells. Very reminiscent of other video games, but it was done really good. It was like a really thing. A little bit of camera issues here and there, but other than that, the gameplay was fundamentally solid. The environment is really fun. You can travel the entire environment most of the time. You can have a lot of fun in the environment. That's another really great thing about the game. The fishing function is in this game like always. I actually sat there and fished. Okay, I gotta say this. There are a few games out there where actually fishing, there's quite a few games that do fishing, but I think Breath of Fire was the first person who brought in like fishing in an RPG. And I like this one. I actually like the fishing in this one. I think this is probably the best fishing I've played in Breath of Fire. At least in Breath of Fire and altogether games. I actually enjoyed it. There's also this other thing in the game called like where you can create a little colony of fairies. By the way, what the hell? Why are the fairies naked? That's kind of creepy. Damn you, Capcom. Why are the fairies naked? That's not right. Anyway, the fairies are cool. I kind of like the fairy characters for one reason only. You build a huge village. You can build this huge village and have like items, and they'll like make items for you and spell, and like they can actually use for spells. You can even use them for battle, insurance. So they actually like if you die in the game, you don't lose something, you don't lose money or anything like that, or health. So there's all these cool things. You can even have them look for items that you might have missed later on. So that's kind of cool. That's kind of a unique thing. And actually, that is one thing I gotta say about Breath of Fire. Do you really in four? Do you really need to go to an inn? Like, I don't think I ever spent any money at an inn. I think I used an inn maybe four times in the game. Maybe four times. Just because, simply put, if you're really good at playing it, like, you can actually get pretty far without actually, like, if you figure out the combo system, yeah, you'll never use an inn. You just camp out. That's kind of cool. Another neat thing they did in Breath of Fire 4 was the ability to kind of pull a Mega Man where you can actually steal if you fight a monster and you're guarding, you can actually steal his effect, which makes your characters really kick ass. I actually, when the first time I played that game, I really didn't do it that often. And man, I effing regret it. Man, I regretted it back then. But I did it. I did it this time. My fifth playthrough, and it was like, oh man, it's beautiful. I love that. I really did hardcore in this version this time. So yeah, all around, all in all, probably one of the best PlayStation games out there. And I know a lot of people didn't see it because it came out right around the time I think the PlayStation 2 came out, so a lot of people kind of ignored it, but it was a really well done game. And I think it's still one of the best RPGs out there. On a closing note, I liked it. I thought it was amazing. And if you get a chance, definitely play it. I hope I didn't spoil anything. If I did, I apologize. But I kind of kept it kind of basis, kind of as low as possible. Hopefully, I didn't spoil anything because I'm trying not to spoil anything. Anyway, those are my closing statements, and I really hope if you get a chance, find it, pick it up, enjoy it. Have a good one, guys.